which is drama comedy.
Well, it's a comedy-drama, isn't it?
Yeah, drama-comedy.
Drama with comedy, or indeed comedy with drama. I'm hedging my bets a bit there.
Comorama.
Comarama.
It's dramatic, more than comedic.
It's real comedy.
Does that sound really wanky?
No. Yes. There's nothing decent about Patrick, but he's likeable. Patrick needs his Ritalin, I think, doesn't he? He's just got no endurance at all, whereas Martin...
Well, I'm just stressed, anal, worried. You know, basically anything that can go wrong will go wrong. In terms of the actual playing something that is so stressful, I've really felt it in that terms of playing somebody that vexed and that manic and always... It's been really difficult. The job itself is just a joy, you know, because it's a fantastic cast and the production. There's a producer over there.
What's the matter with your voice?
Don't worry, Jim.
Stop it!
Don't do it, Jim, don't worry.
We're going to do it without these two monkeys.
Come on, guys.
Come on.
Sorry.
Fucking hell! Right, come on. I'm fucking sweating. My hands are sweating.
Stop it!
I can't.
Your client is quite clearly mounting.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Martin's kind of basically incompetent. And I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know why. But that's the way they write it.
I slept with Carl. Twice. I was unhappy and I met him for a drink after work.
She offers up the information about the affair because I think she just wants to get it off her chest. She wants to clear her conscience. She just wants to tell Martin. And so she does in the first of many selfish acts. Just tells him and then sort of leaves him to deal with it. It's more about her guilt and wanting to get rid of this sort of cloud that's over her. I think she does it to make herself feel better and doesn't necessarily notice the impact initially that it has on Martin.
Oh, he's devastated by it, and that's what the whole series is for my character. It's the you know, the effect of that, and the fact that I lose my job and everything goes to shit from that.
How is it, right, that you had the affair, but it's me that's ended up paying for it?
And that's what you think, is it?
Well, it looks like that.
Does it? I'm gonna go get that. Martin's getting a bit dull and turning into a bit of an old woman, really. And I think it's probably was a terrible sort of shag around the back of the office or something. You know, I don't think it was particularly memorable in that way or exciting or even good. I don't think it's an affair as such. Certainly not an emotional one. Although he's quite sweet, Martin. I think as we get to know him, I don't think Jan will be generating a huge amount of sympathy from the audience. Because he's so likeable and he's so lovable and he plays all that so well, Marc, that I think the knives are going to be out for Jen.
If we fuck it up, we'll just do it again. We'll just pick up.
Yeah, just pick up.
Is the Motorola off?
No, the Motorola's on.
Jesus, ooh, check you out.
Woo!
Is this your first job?
Ooh, is the Motorola off? Ooh. You're so horrible to me. You're so horrible.
Where'd you learn that on? Spooks?
Daily fucking attack.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
I mean, he just has such bad luck. And possibly the worst luck of all is that he has Patrick as his best mate. Patrick just doesn't believe in looking after, it doesn't work in advance, doesn't sort of pick things up off the floor, whereas Martin's somebody who probably would fold up his clothes at night.
I, as a person, sort of aspire to that kind of freedom. I think that's wonderful. I kind of imagine that you've got that yourself.
What, chucking
you as
things
a
on the
person.
floor?
Yeah, I just think you've got that freedom.
Oh, I saw a shifty-looking bloke in a blue tracksuit hanging around. He had a red cap, black trainers, maybe.
That's my dad.
We never really went through the backstory, did we? We kind of just
I
hit the ground
reckon
running.
Martin, actually, before Martin got married, I reckon Martin was more of a wild card, I think. Yeah, I think he was capable of... He was solid and dependable, probably, but also let his hair down a bit more, I think.
You said something interesting. It's like they're moving so differently. They're in different circles all the time, but very occasionally they link together, don't they?
And they like each other for a bit.
Well, I like you, because
You're
you always like me, don't you?
I like you, but probably because I can use
So you don't like me?
Yeah. But Patrick, I think, always has... he always has some sort of other motive, doesn't he? There's always another reason why. So if I sort of come to you saying, mate, do you fancy coming and doing something? It's always because I want you to do something for me.
You want some money or somewhere to live or...
But we have these little moments where suddenly we're friends, and it lasts for about a page
Yeah.
before
It's a
something
few seconds,
happens.
but they're glorious seconds.
Martin, have a word. I believe you know Mr. Turner. I've been hearing all about his problem and how we, or more specifically you, are the only ones for the job.
Ah, right.
You never told me you knew the cucumber catalogue now.
Well, you know...
I love your stuff. I must be responsible for half your profits.
Well, you obviously had great taste. But then with your figure, you could wear anything and look fabulous.
Oh, come on. Sarah always seems to know what other people are going to do before they do. So there's a kind of a running gag as well in the office that whenever Martin turns up, he never knows where she's going to be. She's a bit like Kato in the old Pink Panther films, and he never knows where she is, and she kind of stalks him. She just appears. So she always knows where he is, she always knows what he's doing, what time he's arrived, when he's going, what he's been doing. I think she looks through his emails, spends a lot of time studying his photographs. I've got a bit of a theory that she's actually obsessed with him. I'm wondering if she's bordering on the mad.
Martin, didn't you tell her about the IVF?
No, Jen. Fucking hell.
I went through a phase of thinking, well, of course they're going to ask me to play Patrick, but that would just be so obvious. You know, that's sort of hide in the house because that's the last place they'll look mentality, isn't it? But I thought, you know, I thought I'd much rather play Martin. Now I'm actually in it. Patrick, every inch of the way. I love playing Patrick. What was I thinking? Of course I was Patrick. He's a sort of hero of the story, albeit an anti-hero. He's not dependable. There's nothing decent about Patrick. Given half a chance, he would just sit around his T-shirt eating pizza slices all day and playing on his Wii. And yet, you like Patrick. You can't help but like Patrick. I think a lot of his contemporaries, his male contemporaries anyway, sort of while they're sort of cursing him out loud, are inwardly thinking, God, that's quite fun.
I don't think this is working.
Action!
I don't think this is working.
Sorry.
I don't think this is working.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I don't think this is working. I don't think this is working.
Oh, dear.
I don't think this is working. Pow! I'm not relaxing at all.
Well, that must have carried 250 at least. There's a little bit of me in him, I suppose. I think his sense of humour is definitely mine. He sounds a bit like me. I've decided I probably don't want an E-type Jag. They're just so low, just climbing into a car like that. It's just
Murder getting in that car.
I don't think either of us has ever got in and out of that car without cutting ourselves. I look like some sort of fakir's assistant, like I've been carrying beds of nails around all my life.
Is it a real E-type, or is it like a pretend E-type?
I think it's a bit like a sort of broom where the head's been changed and the stick's been changed so many times. It's not really the
Oh,
original
it's got gaffer
broom.
tape on it.
Oh yeah,
some
it's
of
held
it.
together by dog hair and spit. Sorry, this car's doing its little thing that it sometimes does.
We got been cut from the car and that
Cactus.
fucking cactus.
Patrick is just such a he's such a great one for imbuing things with tremendous symbolism, and the cactus suddenly becomes his symbol of how he has looked after this thing that Liz gave him years ago, and it's still alive. It's a cactus, and so he has to lug this fucking thing around.